What exactly
was advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Ms. Trueblood?
Present.
Ms. Stinney?
Present.
Ms. Scholes absent this evening. Ms. Jackson?
Present.
Mr. Allen?
Present. This meeting is now called to order. Closed session resolution number 170-2015. This authorizes council to go into closed session. Council, administration, solicitor, do we have anything?
Yeah, there's potential litigation concerning the union grievance process.
Are there any other items? Do we have a motion to approve closed session resolution number 170-2015 for potential litigation?
I'll make the motion that we go into closed session for 170-2015 litigation.
I'll second the motion for resolution number 170-2015.
Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Council will now go into closed session and return at approximately 7 o'clock.
And we're recording.
Okay, we are back. There is no formal action necessary pursuant to closed session. We will now have a safety presentation by our risk management consultant, Hardenberg Insurance Group. And the purpose of this presentation is to share with the governing body the Township Safety and Wellness Program, to provide the governing body an opportunity to ask related questions, and to present the 2015 Risk Management Focus. Would you please come forward?
Thank you very much for that. My name is Bonnie Riddolfino. I'm with the Hardenberg Insurance Group, the RE Risk Management Consultant. Thank you again for tonight, allowing me to speak tonight. And for speaking tonight, you do get credits for the Safety Incentive Program. So there's a purpose, financial incentive to have me up here for a couple minutes. So I am going to refer to the handout that I believe that you guys have, then you have a copy. And again, if you want to stop me and ask any questions, feel free. If not, afterwards. And I believe everybody can hear me. Thank you, Council President, for just explaining the purpose of today's meeting. What I'm going to do is now go to the 6 C's. The next slide. Commitment and accountability, that's what you folks do each year. You pass a safety resolution and the safety contract committing to safety for the employees and the residents throughout the borough, or throughout the township. As you come down on the circle, you'll see controlling hazards. Your employees are doing that on a daily basis as they walk around the premises, they walk around the township itself, looking for any hazards. Perfect example was the storm of June 23rd. We had trees going down everywhere, so your public works guys were going out surveying all the roads to make sure that they could clear the hazards. Also, as they're walking through the buildings, any lights that aren't working, is there any carpeting that's ripped up that could cause a trip or a fall? As you travel down the circle, you'll see continuing education. The Joint Insurance Fund promotes a lot of education. What we're doing more so now than ever is trying to do webinars. We recognize that your employees need to be on site. So we'll do a lot of webinars and also a lot of training within the county, because you are part of the Burlington County Joint Insurance Fund. What's nice is that if we can't host training in the township, it might be at the borough, West Hampton, so your employees aren't traveling up to North Jersey or down to Cumberland County. Also, you guys take advantage of training. We're going to continually educate you. Next training session for the elected officials it's down at the League of Municipalities. It's usually that Wednesday night, and I believe it's like around 5:30, and they do a session. They just haven't given me the title of the session yet. So once we get it, Dennis will make sure that all you guys go. And if you can, it is a $250 credit per council person back to the township.
That
on
was
the-
going to be my question, because
And then if you can't make it down to the municipality,
Right.
it's not a problem. They normally do a session, I believe it's usually December, sometimes January, depending upon the
Right.
weather. Charlie's Other Brothers.
Good.
Just can't-
No
Yes.
longer Charlie's Other Brothers.
Oh, it's,
O'Connor or something?
And at the-
It's something new that's supposed to be opening actually maybe yesterday.
oh, okay.
Oh. But they still have it there?
I don't know if they're still
They may
having it there,
change
they
it
may
then,
change it.
then
Okay.
that's where it always
It's-
was. But again, we'll give you
different
plenty of
owners.
notice.
Yep.
But the one good thing is it will be in Burlington County.
That's fine, I do the
That's-
league, yeah.
So we won't make you go down to Atlantic County or Gloucester County.
Right.
They're always available to you if by chance you can't make it on those dates.
Very good.
So you can attend any one that you want to. We continue to go down and you'll see communication. That's your safety committee, which you do have an extremely active safety committee, and I'm going to get into that in the next couple slides. Also newsletters. As we travel up the circle, you'll see coaching. That's job site observations. That's when your supervisor or a fellow employee will come out and actually watch an employee do a job. Not to criticize that employee, but to make sure there's nothing that needs to be done to make it a little bit safer. Is the employee wearing their personal eye protective equipment? If they required a helmet, are they wearing that? Is it a two-person job and only one person's on it? The tools that they're using. So again, you are having your supervisors coach your employees. And then as we go up to the last circle, you can do all the risk management, you can avoid claims, or excuse me, you can avoid hazards, but sometimes there are going to be claims, and when there is, we need to report them very quickly, and we need to gather as much information as possible, and the claims coordinator and the fund commissioner is doing a fantastic job, because you guys, you know this, when we get into a lawsuit, a lot of times, a lot of action, discovery, and everything doesn't happen until 2 years down the road. So the better picture we have up front, the more details we have up front on weather conditions, who was driving, what was going on, the better it is down the road when everybody's trying to remember, what was the weather like then? What were we doing? And the same thing with workers' compensation. If we can know an employee's injured right away and we can send them to a preferred doctor that the JIP has authorized, we have found that the claim costs are much less than somebody treating on their own for a couple of days and then coming in and saying, oh, I did hurt myself at work. So prompt claim reporting is the claims management. If you would turn your page, just going to go over the leaders of the safety and wellness program, and I put wellness in because we've been focusing in on that for the past couple years, and I'll talk again in another slide a little bit about the wellness. Your safety coordinator, Joyce and Michelle. Michelle also is the claims coordinator, and then Dennis is the fund commissioner, the liaison to the joint insurance fund. As I mentioned, you belong to the Burlington County Joint Insurance Fund, and we're the risk management consultant agreement, helping you with different risk management techniques. Now, my two favorite slides. For the first one, and I did a quote from J.A. Montgomery. They are the loss control representative at the Joint Insurance Fund, and at the safety breakfast that was held in February this year, they had made a public statement about the township. The township has a very active safety program with strong leadership and a proactive safety committee. They don't throw that out lightly. And the township received a special recognition award for continuing education, and it's because you provided training kiosks which allow employees to take advantage of training during downtime and inclement weather. And I have to tell you, this is really a great initiative, because the one complaint we have heard throughout a number of years that I've been doing this, public works employees don't have computers. So how are they supposed to do the training? Because they don't have computers, and they're on the road. But now what happens when it is raining? What happens, when you do have a little bit of downtime? So the fact that you guys have set up a kiosk and now we can get these employees trained, it's fabulous, and a lot of other towns are starting to copy this one. And then the next slide, also fabulous, at the safety breakfast, Michelle Brown was recognized for her communication, and it's the wellness, which I mentioned a couple slides before. We've been doing a lot of safety training for a number of years. Now we have found that if we have a stronger employee, less likely to get injured. So she took the initiative arranging the flu shots, oral cancer screenings with the wellness fair, and also purchased the perfect lunch proportion containers. Again, a healthy employee is less likely to be injured. Because of those two awards that you received, an extra $1,000 went back to the township, and
nice.
a luncheon was held for the employees
Ooh.
from the JIP. And then the last safety-related program slide is How did you do in 2014? You did everything in the 6 C's. You ended up achieving the highest safety incentive award for your category by the Borough Code JIF, which was $2,275. And because of Dennis and Michelle, Joyce, and all the employees, you're right on track to receive another $2,275 for your 2015 award.
Did you say this was the highest incentive
Yes.
that we received?
It's based on population, and that's the most that your township can receive from the JIF. And again, the luncheon and the $1,000, that was extra, not everybody gets it. They look at all the submissions from all the towns and they pick the top ones. I'm going to move on now just to the focus topic, and every year we pick a topic just to throw out to the governing body, just so you know what your folks are doing behind the scenes and what's going on to control the hazards that are the public entities are facing. And I know you guys, you read the newspapers, you watch TV, you always see cyber attack. That's the new thing that's going on. So the first slide basically just giving you a definition of what it is. Then we ask the question, because a lot of entities don't believe that they are at risk. Bottom line is if you collect any confidential data, which is employees' information, or if you are collecting residents' credit cards, if you operate any computerized systems, water, sewer, finance, public safety, or if you maintain a website, you are a target for cyber attack. Then I get the next question is, okay, so we realize that we've seen, different places as far as Target and the banks, but not a community in South Jersey. They're not going to get hacked, are they? We've had 2 hacks within the past 6 months. The picture on, and it actually gives the article, that was Swedesboro, Walwich, I may have reversed them, school district down in Gloucester County, and then Vineland Police Department was recently hacked too, where they were asking for a ransom, and if it wasn't, then they were going to give out personal data. So it can happen in South Jersey. How does it harm you? That's the unknown right now. There's really not a whole lot of dollars to say. I can say it's going to cost $4 million or it's going to cost $27. What I can tell you is that it can make you out of order. You've lost the ability to do some of your services. You crash and you're not online. How are you going to do payroll? How are you going to keep going? It can cause a bad reputation. I trust in my government, maintain my information, and keep it confidential. And now, whatever, you didn't have the right controls. And then the last thing is the money. What we have seen, the cost now to most entities, it's the credit monitoring. You'll hear where all of a sudden they've gotten all my personal data, now my theft identity. A lot of times, like a Target, they may have to monitor $6 million people's credit for umpteen years. That's where the cost is coming in now. Or if you have to replace your whole server, or depending upon the type. The good news is that we can figure out how to control it a little bit. This slide is how do you start it, because it is such a big topic. And we're suggesting that you take aim. What are your technology needs? What do you use technology for? Then, do you have staff? Do you hire an IT consultant? What's the hardware you have in place? What's the software? Figure out what you have in assets. And then what resources do you have available? Is there another entity that you can do a shared services with? Or do you have an IT person, that is an expert? Look at what's available. Invest the time to develop IT policies. You guys did a great job several years ago on the employment practices when that was the hot topic. Doing a handbook, making sure all the policies were up. Now we're saying take a look at the IT, and then also training your employees. And then the manage, aim part, continually monitor and update, because the hackers are constantly coming up with new ways. If you turn to the next slide.
I have a quick question. Shared services you mentioned, is there an incentive for that?
Not if on a financial one, no. Not
Okay.
at this point with the joint insurance fund.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. How do you protect it? One thing that we have found is that employees, they click. They click on things that they don't know. So we see it, and that's one thing that we're trying to promote is constantly remind your employees, if it looks suspicious, it is suspicious. Okay, so if it just looks, I'm in insurance. I shouldn't be getting anything from a bank. I'm getting something from a bank to my work email address. Chances are it's not right. because there's no reason. Same thing with the UPS. I shouldn't be getting a UPS tracker. Everything I buy, I use my home email address. So if they're sending it to Bonnie R. Rick, there's something going wrong. But employees think, I'm going through my day, I'm trying to get everything done, click, 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 and then what that does is it freezes up your system. Then no one in the township can do any work. So again, remind your employees about that. If you go down here, making sure all your softwares are up to date. A lot of times you'll find, and I know personally, I've let my antivirus expire. And they say you need to update it because, again, the hackers are constantly creating new ways to attack. And then the last one that we have found is that, especially with the iPads and everything, if you are issuing township iPads, it gets stolen. You know who to call? How do you get in touch with who you need to shut it down so nobody can get into that? So again, if you are personal, God bless you.
Thank you.
Phones or iPads that might have confidential information. Good news is that the JIF does provide coverage for this. And if you go on to the next slide, it'll actually tell you about the coverage. It's $3 million for a third-party claim. And I'm not going to, waste a lot of the time going through the details. But the one thing is, at this point in time, the deductible is still high. Because, again, it's a new coverage. Insurance carriers do not know how to really write the insurance, but they don't know what the exposure is because it hasn't been tested through the courts. And until there's lawsuits, they're really not going to know the full exposure. So right now it's a $25,000 deductible.
So we need more lawsuits. I was joking.
We don't need more lawsuits, but that's the issue.
For insurance purposes only. Then.
No, yeah, that's it. The other good news that the insurance policy that you do have, and it was automatic coverage for the Joint Insurance Fund, is a whole host of resources. If you are looking to create a policy, there are policies on here. If you are looking to maybe go out and hire a consultant to come in and do a cyber audit, you want to do a cyber audit yourself, there's a cyber assessment. You can actually go on and see how are your controls. The other thing is, too, they give a lot of news articles, and again, this topic is changing on a daily basis, so it's keeping you up to speed, and all of this is no cost. It's all within your assessment for the Joint Insurance Fund. The next slide is, what happens if you have a breach? This is so new to everybody. Do you know what to do? First thing Dennis or the appropriate person from the township will do is call the hotline. The hotline from the carrier, and they will walk you through it, saying this is what you do, this is what you do not do. I think I've scared. Have I scared everybody enough? That's normally what I try and do at these meetings. And then the last slide, I gave you a very, very small snapshot of what's going on. If you would like more information on it and the details, an actual assessment survey and everything, go right onto the MEL website. You do not need a password. Click on the various things that I've said, and it'll bring you to the various PowerPoint presentations and give you a lot more detail on it or specifics. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to call me, or if you let Dennis know, he'll funnel them through me, and we'll get all answers for you. On behalf of Hardenberg Insurance Group, thank you. We do appreciate that you have appointed us your risk management consultant. We enjoy serving the township, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them. And like I said, if something comes up down the road, feel free to reach out to him, myself, and we'll answer for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Counselor, are there any questions?
No. Thank
No.
you.
Thank you. Public comments on agenda items only. Is there anyone from the public that would like to ask a question? Seeing none. Consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the Township Council and will be enacted by one motion. Should a council member wish to discuss a consent agenda item separately, that item can be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the regular agenda.
I would like to pull Regular meeting June 17, 2015, and July 15, 2015. Regular meeting.
Council, are there any other changes? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stinney?
Yes.
Mrs. Trueblood?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Ms. Trueblood?
Yes, I'd like to recuse from July 15th because I was not present.
Okay.
Just need a motion on July 15th.
Is there a motion on the July 15th, 2015 minutes?
I'll make the motion to approve July 15th minutes.
I'll second it.
Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stinney?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood?
Recused.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. And-
Norma pulled June.
Right. Ms. Trueblood pulled the June 17th, 2015 minutes because I was not at that meeting, so I will be recusing myself for that vote. Council, is there a motion?
Am I making a motion for all of them tonight? All right, well, make a motion for June 17th as well.
I'll second the motion for June 17th.
Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Abstain? Moving on. Ordinances for second reading, public hearing, and/or adoption. Ordinance number 12-2015, establishing a new chapter of the Pemberton Township Code entitled Tax Sale in order to establish costs associated with property tax sales for delinquent taxes and fees in the township. This ordinance is now opened up to the public for comment. Seeing none, this portion is closed. Council, is there any discussion?
Need a motion to, Jay.
Is there a motion to approve or to adopt? I'm sorry.
I motion to adopt ordinance number 12, 2015, establishing a new chapter of the Pemberton Township Code entitled Tax Sales.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mrs. Trueblood?
Yes.
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. One second.
Was this introduced when you weren't here?
It was introduced at the last meeting.
When you weren't here. Okay.
Yep. Ordinance number 13-2015, a bond ordinance providing for improvements to the West End Athletic Complex by and in the Township of Pemberton in the County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1.1 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of a $1.1 million bonds or notes of the township to finance the cost thereof.
If you have a conflict, you may just want to step down. Just give somebody else the chair to respond to the question. Because you shouldn't really talk about it as well, besides not voting. Yeah. What I'm advising Council President for the record is that because this involves DEP as employer, he's going to be recusing himself, so I've recommended that he temporarily give the chair up for the public hearing and the vote on this matter, just on this one ordinance. If there could be an agreement among council to somebody to take the chair just for this portion, just for this ordinance.
Want to take chair? Take chair.
Take the chair.
Well, I don't know if you have to move those. You could probably do it
Just
from
want to
here.
open it up to the public.
Yep.
Diane, do you want to do it?
Sure. Yeah.
This way there's no question about it. Yeah, we sit back down there.
I have to sit down there too?
Technically? Yes, because it's a public hearing on an ordinance. It's not just like
Sorry.
Diane Stinney taking the chair temporary for the ordinance of, and see, I left my notes down there. 13.
Yes, it's right here, Diane. It's this one.
Thank you.
It's
13-2015. At this time, it's open to the public for comment. Okay. Let me recognize you first, please. Okay, come on down.
Hi, I just wanted to show my support for this ordinance. My girls have been a member of the soccer club since they were 4, and my oldest is now 11. This will be a huge, huge thing for our community. It will greatly benefit our children. And it will also improve the view of all the townships that we have coming to us for travel soccer. They'll be coming to a real complex instead of, the back lot of the high school. And we have teams coming from all over South Jersey to play our kids. Additionally, I know one of the issues that was brought up last month was the cost of the fields. There are 2 potential revenue sources, well, 3 if we get meeting space, for this ordinance. One could have solar-powered lights for the field, which we could then sell the excess energy back to the grid. We could rent out meeting space, which is another minor source of revenue, and the biggest potential is all the tournaments that happen on base, they've been running out of room. So the last 3 tournaments I know of that were held there, they had to rent other fields. So they were renting Deptford, Bordentown, renting all these other locations. We could get in on that. And these are huge tournaments that generate a lot of money. I don't know what the other locations are currently charging, but it is something to look into as a potential revenue source for the township. Also, the last thing I had was one of our club members had suggested naming the complex after Tamara. And I thought that would just be a really nice touch to show appreciation for everything she did for the community.
We thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Come right on up. Welcome this evening, and we welcome your comments.
Hi. My name is Peggy Zapian Torres, and I'm the president of the Pemberton Soccer Club.
Sign your name in, please. Thank you, Vicki.
I just wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown about our club. I don't know if you all are aware of how many children we impact on a seasonal basis. We have anywhere between 300 and 400 kids who play soccer for us every season. So these fields would be extremely important to improving the type of soccer we can give them. Currently, we park in the mud pit, and we have to swim to the fields when it's raining, and this would really help us out and improve our appearance to our township and to other townships. So I just wanted to, thank the rec department and to Mayor Kurth for all their hard work in getting this process going for us. And I am so emotional right now. I was going to write a speech, but I didn't know what to say, so I just wanted to come up here and thank everyone for doing all of this work for us, because we love what we do, and this will really help us do it much better. So, thank you.
Thank you.
That's okay. We feel your fell heart comments.
Hey, I have a
Yes.
question for you. Is behind the high school the only place that you guys can play right now?
Yeah.
That's the only.
Currently, it's the only lot large enough to house us.
Okay.
I was just informed by the high school yesterday that they are going to be making more use of those fields, so I am meeting with the high school on Tuesday to
Okay.
try to make sure that we can accommodate ourselves and they can accommodate them. Most of the equipment that is out there we own.
Okay.
So I was concerned when he said he was going to, use all the goals that were out at the fields, and I think we're going to be able to work it out, but this is an ongoing issue for us at these fields. I have to fight tooth and nail every season with the high school to get what I need for my program.
Okay.
So this will reduce that stress and, give me time to focus on something else positive for our club.
Okay.
So
I remember those days, tracking through that mud back there. You've been back there forever.
I've been actually listing places that we could go.
Okay.
I don't want to split my program up, but if I have to, I will have to, consider possibly moving the rec program to another location or moving the travel program to another location. But it just makes it so hard because I am there almost every day to oversee the program. And if I have to, I can't split myself in two, so I'm afraid that if I have to do that, something's going to fall through the loops. I'm going to miss something. It's just going to generate more problems. So I'm hoping that, this will happen quickly and we can get our new home soon.
Well, I'm not sure how quickly it'll happen, right, Mr.
Well, I
Gonzalez,
know.
but we're
One step, right?
we're hoping, one step. That's right,
This
Councilwoman
is
Jackson.
the first step. This is
Yeah.
the biggest step. for
But here's a
us. So
suggestion. West Hampton is a huge, huge place. You might want to plead with their council.
I can't, I've tried to reach out to other communities and we can't afford to rent, space from them.
Share services.
Yeah, so I don't want to raise any more, I don't want to raise fees anymore.
Share
So,
services.
Yeah, they won't.
They won't do it?
Soccer is very territorial.
Yeah, I know.
Extremely territorial,
I
so
remember.
they don't want to work with us. So
I
it's
remember.
okay, but we'll deal with it. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Thank you
So,
for your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jack Tompkins, Pemberton Heights, and I might need a really fast car to get out of here after this. And before I start, went to the water carnival this year. Phenomenal.
Yes.
It was very, very nice. That's my one nice comment for the day.
Okay, here comes the next one.
Another $1 million. When you folks put the proposal in front of us, residents, for the $1 million for Presidential Lake Fire Department, I'll be all for that one. This one I'm not for. Multiple reasons. We're already in debt. How much debt does this township have currently? Can somebody give me an answer on that?
I don't have a figure in front of me,
Just a
but what we
ballpark.
can do is ask Mr. Gonzalez if he would,
Mr.
comment
Gonzalez,
on that, if
I
you
did
would, please.
24 million? 27?
It's about 27 million, and the debt statements are on the website.
Okay. I'm lazy. I'd rather ask a question here. Does that include the MUA? For water and sewer and stuff like that, whatever debt that they might have?
The MUA is not involved with water. It's just the sewer.
Okay.
And that's essentially a self-liquidating debt. They pay us about $550,000 a year that we pay
So they
for.
have no debt, none whatsoever that we would be responsible
I
for?
believe, no.
Okay. So 27 million, add another million now, and then maybe another million later on, so right about $30 million in debt. And we're 8 months into the month, or 8 months into the year. This is the second $1 million bond that's been proposed to us. I live on Scrapetown Road. You hear me come in here every council meeting and complain about the traffic, the speeders, I can't get police presence down there to control the traffic now, and you're going to have a community rec center or sports center put down there and have 400 people coming in for these tournaments and stuff, and you're not going to have police presence. They can't control what's going on down there now. And you're going to have that increase in traffic and presence down there. It's crazy. I'm not for this. I'm really, really not for it.
Jack, I don't want to predict what the future is with the traffic or anything, but that's certainly something that
How are they going to get there? Temple Court?
Administration and council could certainly look at, because that is an issue in your area. We've
Miss
heard
Denny,
Ms. Jackson.
I've been coming here for a year now.
I know you have.
Okay?
I
and
have.
if I can't get a control on the routine things that are going on now, if we're talking about a proposal to increase the traffic, and you know it's going to increase the traffic,
Sure.
what am I going to, I'm going to be in here every day complaining, and it's ridiculous.
Well, I'll mention something at the council member meeting.
The other
Every
thing
time we
is,
have a meeting.
we're having the public hearings on this tonight. It takes four council members to pass it.
Well,
One, two.
well,
Once the public hearing is closed, I'll advise council on that issue.
yeah.
Okay, because it sounds to me like it's going to have to be relisted, rehearings, and all the good stuff that you folks normally say you don't want to do. No? Okay. That's what you got a lawyer here for. Pinelands. Is this going to need any kind of Pinelands approval if they do this out there?
I'm sure that it would be.
But they should have already done it, right, Dennis?
I'm sure that it would be.
Well, I'm
the
asking
areas...
You're saying you're sure it would be, but
Dennis,
I'm asking the question.
Dennis, okay.
If we're going to spend $1 million, are we going to be authorized
Dennis,
to do this, or is Pinelands going to hold us up?
Okay.
First of all, anytime you develop in the Pinelands area, you at a minimum, some things require Pinelands approval, other things require Pinelands information, a provision of information. The second thing is that we're not going into debt for $1 million. This is a $1.1 million grant/loan from New Jersey DEP. $750,000 is a grant. We will not have to repay it. $350,000 is a no-interest loan payable over 20 years, which is $17,500 per year, which will be put into the budget, obviously, because we'll have to pay $17,500 a year. DEP loans/grants are reimbursable instruments. They don't give us the money and then we go out and build it. That's the only way to build it with these loans and grants from state government, is to create a revenue source so that you can actually pay for it, and then you get reimbursed and it gets paid off by the grant and the loan. Okay. So it will not increase the debt but for $350,000, and Mr. Tompkins' analysis of $1 million here, $1 million there goes from 27 to 30. Forget that we put about $2 million a year into the budget to pay off some of that debt. So it doesn't just grow by $2 million a year. That's not the way it works.
It's still going to go up, though, correct?
Not necessarily.
So you're telling me it will not go up? You're going to guarantee me that the debt's not going to go up? You're shaking your head no, so I guess that rattle means no?
I'm saying that...
You're not answering a question. You're playing games, so I can do the same
There's
thing.
no reason for you to talk to me that way. Have a little respect. When I was in the military, I had respect for folks like you in the military as well.
I didn't mention anything about the military, Mr. Gonzalez.
Well, you always do, so you might as well get it from me too.
All right, the other thing is we have fields that are available over here at BCC. Now, I know they're not available to us, but there's been public things in the newspaper and stuff like that there might be moves and changes over there at BCC. We don't know what's going to happen with that. But is anyone, and I do know the mayor is appointed to some kind of council for utilizing their facilities or how it's going to be utilized.
I'm looking at their heads all unanimously shaking no. BCC's fields are not an option, correct? I see them all saying no. The president...
What I'm saying, though, is that if they're vacating the facility, are they also going to vacate the fields? Or are they going to retain ownership of those fields?
They can't have that conversation.
Okay, excuse me, Jack, you're going to have the conversation with me. I have a great idea. There's a freeholders meeting. Why don't you plan to attend that? You can ask questions there.
So it might be something I want to look at.
That's great.
Okay? But it's another option instead of just looking at Scrapetown Road and then going a little bit further into debt, possibly. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Mr. Bailey? Here's your twin. Good evening, Mr. Bailey.
Good afternoon. Robert Bailey, 22 Woodland Avenue, Browns Mills. I'm not in that area near the Johnson Center, but it's been a conversation about that area for a long time for this use, and I just happen to be one that's 100% in favor of a soccer field in that area. Wherever this use is going to go, it's going to constitute some vehicles, and that should be understood. But I think that's a wonderful location for that use, and I think it should go through. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. And actually, when we first looked at that area, I just want to share with everyone. We first looked at that area some years ago, and Mr. Gonzalez helped me out if I stumble and fall. When Green Acres gave us that was our intent. I don't know how many years ago that was. Andy, what do you say? About 3-4 years ago when we purchased that land from Dean?
Dean.
That was the owner of that land when the Green Acres came in? Huh?
We had purchased the property right adjacent to this with an overall plan to have a much larger facility.
Right, right, okay.
I think the name is different.
It was the Light and Love, I believe.
Oh, Light and Love, right, okay. Something around here like that.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thanks. So that was our purpose then. Okay. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Bear, and he's going to give
Just
you...
close the public hearing.
Okay, any more comments? You can see I ain't used to being up here for a while. Seeing none, we'll close this portion for ordinance number 1420-15.
13. It's ordinance 13, 2015.
Yeah.
Jason,
2000.
why'd you leave this in front of me? Ordinance 13, 2015.
So, Council, as was pointed out by a resident, for any bond ordinance, you need 4 votes. You don't have 4 eligible voters here this evening, so I am suggesting that you carry this to now that your next meeting, and if Mrs. Skull is present at the next meeting, you could then have a vote. This way you'll have enough, at least whatever the vote may be, but you'll have enough potential voters to either approve or disapprove.
So again, the advertisement would not have to take place?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just want to make it clear.
The public hearing was held, so now it's just a question of making a motion to carry it until the next meeting.
Okay, very good. I'm hearing what our solicitor, Mr. Andy Bear, said. I, Diane Stinney, would now remove myself from the seat of...
No, you gotta wait to do the motion to carry
Motion to
first.
carry it.
Motion to carry?
They have to do a motion to carry it to the next meeting.
Oh, motion to carry to the next
Yeah,
meeting.
ask for a motion, and then you
All
can
right.
step aside.
Have a motion to carry to the next meeting?
It's August 19th.
Y'all know I ain't been here for a while.
August? It's August 19th.
To be held August 19th? Okay, very good.
I'll second it.
You to vote.
Oh,
I motion to carry to August 19, ordinance for hearing, ordinance 13, 2015.
I'll second it. Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson? Yes. Ms. Stinney?
Yes. Council President Allen, would you take your seat as I remove myself? Thank you. Don't put me there no more.
Like the old days, Diane.
Oh, come on.
Thank you, Ms. Stinney, for serving as the temporary chair. Moving on, ordinance number 14-2015. This ordinance authorizes the lease of space in the Nesbitt Center to Faith in Action Incorporated for operation of a youth center. This portion of the meeting is now open to public comment. Seeing none. Council, is there any discussion?
I just want to thank Mr. Gonzalez for sharing the one-stop center, the schedule, basically tentative schedule. It's going to really benefit our residents, our students, parents. And Mr. Gonzalez, is this on the webpage once we get authorized, or?
This won't be on the webpage until they're in and their schedule is set. This is just a tentative schedule.
This is tentative?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to say I have worked with Dr. Amy Dean on several things out of the Willingboro School District and JFK Center, and just plans to bring a wonderful thing here to Pemberton Township.
Yes, it
Yeah.
will. And
Thank you.
it will also generate some monies for the township also, if I'm correct.
That's correct. They will be paying rent.
Yeah.
Approximately $14,400 a year.
Council, is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt ordinance 14-2015.
Is there
Motion for ordinance 14, 2015.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mrs. Stinney?
Yes.
Mrs. Trueblood?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Solicitor's report.
No, party permits.
Oh, okay.
My last week's
You're right.
that public hearing.
You're right.
On your new business.
Okay. Under new business C, parade permit applications. Do them individually.
Yeah, we have to have public hearing on each one.
Okay. Ellen Catalano for Seroptimus Candlelight Visual on South Lakeshore Drive from 5:30 p.m. through 6:30 p.m. on October 9th, 2015. Open it up to public. This portion of the meeting is now opened up to public comment. Seeing none, council, is there any discussion?
No, I just want to say that it's just a wonderful event. I've attended several years, and they have the statues that have been at Burlington County College of young others that have been, as you have seen, murdered and so on and so forth. So service is really beautiful.
Council, is there a motion?
I motion to approve the candlelight visual on South Lakeshore Drive.
I'll second that. What?
October 9th.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mrs. Trueblood?
Yes.
Mrs. Stinney?
Yes.
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. We have another permit application for Donna Lessa from Sassafras Street for the 9th Annual Neighborhood Block Party. The timing of the event is 2 p.m. through 10 p.m. on August 8th, 2015. This portion of the meeting is now opened up to public comment.
Cecilia Cathers, 23 North White Spog Road. Is there a noise? Do we have some type of noise ordinance
Yes.
in our township? Why is it until 10 p.m.? What is the noise limitation on that?
I don't think it's by time. It's
I
by,
thought it was 8 o'clock in the evening or 9 o'clock in the evening. You have to have a certain time. You can't make a block party noise at that time. I'm pretty sure we have an ordinance about
You
that.
did, well, there is a noise ordinance. Yes, I don't think it's time though. I think it's by, I think, well, it controls it by decibel level as I recollect.
And who's going to be there?
I will.
For the noise level?
Oh, no, not for the noise level, but I will be there.
And the block parties for Sassafras Street, Rugby, and Clan Street.
This is the one they have every year, Council President.
Right,
Yeah.
this is the 9th annual.
Right, but I'm just concerned about the noise level. You know,
Did they get too loud in the past or something?
a little. A little. And I'm concerned about that.
Well, Mr. Gonzalez, we discussed the noise ordinance recently, and I know I sent an email through Amy, and she indicated that you all were reevaluating.
It's with me.
Mr. Bayer is working on it, and hopefully we'll have it for the next meeting.
We're talking about amending and combining your noise ordinance.
So you know firsthand there is no time limit.
I don't think so.
I do believe there's something. We're concerned
Well, that would be a police issue.
to be,
I mean, if there was.
with that, you're just passing the buck.
Well, the police
Okay.
would be out there, ma'am. It wouldn't be.
It doesn't matter. You're passing the buck. Let the police take care of it. When council should be taking care of this noise thing. Am I right or am I incorrect?
Well, I think you're right if we have an ordinance for it, but if they're getting too loud, it would be my thought that you would call the police to have them comply with the ordinance. I don't know if that's...
I'm not saying not have a
passing the
block
buck.
party. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's an ordinance. Because where I live, you can't make noise at a certain time, or the police are at your door. And they're telling us there's an ordinance about noise.
Did they
There
tell you what
is a
time?
noise ordinance.
8 o'clock in the morning, you're not allowed to start your lawnmower until after 8 in the morning,
Okay.
and you cannot do anything after 9 o'clock at night. So here it's saying 10 o'clock.
Well, I think, that if I may interject a little bit, it says that they will end at 9, and the cleanup begins at 9 sharp, so...
Where does that say that?
Oh, it's on our...
It's in our
paper
agenda
that we have.
package.
On our request from the 9th Annual Neighborhood Block Party. What I have here, it says they're gonna have the games and all, and it says, we also, okay, DJ's plan between 5 and 9. Cleanup will begin at 9 p.m. sharp and to be completed by 10. So I don't think at 9 they're gonna continue with music or anything, they're gonna be cleaning up. And this is...
If I could just clarify something, the time frame on this particular permit is for the blocking of the roadways. It has nothing to do with noise. This is not a loudspeaker permit, which we no longer have. This is a parade permit, so it's more for the blocking of the roadways. So the roadways
Oh,
will
'cause
be
that
blocked
doesn't-
off until 10 o'clock.
Okay, because it doesn't say anything on here about blocking of the roads.
Well, it's a parade permit, and that's what a parade permit is
is it?
for.
Okay. Thank you.
That's the purpose of the parade permit, to notify the public that the roadways will be blocked off.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. I believe Mr. Gonzalez is looking for the noise ordinance to confirm the timing. Is that what you... Yeah. No problem.
Even still, it said the DJ is 5 to 9.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
that may help.
If they make a lot of noise, I'll let them know.
Diane's on.
And you could call the police.
Seeing no other comments, council, is there a motion?
That's the joke of the night.
What party?
I motion to approve the
Parade.
permit for the 9th Annual Neighborhood Block Party from under August 8th.
I'll second that.
Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Mrs. Stinney?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Now, solicitors report.
Yes, Council President, the only thing I want to report on is the last meeting, there was a discussion concerning the Township's Mount Laurel lawsuit, where we were seeking court protection from a builder's remedy claims against the Township. I had a conference with the assignment judge yesterday, and Fair Share Housing Center participated in the discussion with the court, and we're working out a consent order which will immunize the Township from builder's remedy claims for the next 5 months. Just since that had been discussed in public at the last meeting, I thought I would update you publicly as well. And that's all I have.
there any questions for the solicitor?
No.
Mayor and/or business administrators report?
I have nothing further, thank you.
Dennis, I do have a quick question. While I was in the audience, Ms. Maldonado had a question, and she wanted to know if the construction on Scammell Drive will be fixed anytime soon.
I'll be happy to let the council know when I find out.
Okay.
There should be a report on it in the engineer's report. I haven't looked at it today, so I don't know. But I would imagine it should be done soon. I just can't tell you when.
Okay. And she also mentioned she wanted to know if we have any projects planned for the Nesbit, such as putting lights or any benches out there on the fields as well.
I would have to get back to council. I think that's in terms of that, it's a better question for the recreation director if she is in communication with her rather than...
Okay, thank you. General public comments. Ms. Phillips and then Mr. Tompkins.
Good evening, everybody in general.
Good evening.
I hear about the water carnival went well. I was out of the country at that time.
We're glad to have you back, Ms. Phillips.
Thank you. You guys have a very good weather that day. I hear about it also. I have a question for the council and then to the administrator. How many times a month the lawn in the main entrance get cut? In any of the entrance, can be Lake Valley, can be Oak Pine, can be Browns Mill, can be Country Lake. How many times a month the lawn get cut?
That's a question for the business administrator or the
can be for the business administrator. He probably can
Public
answer
Works.
me that. You can
Would you happen to know that off the top of your head?
No, I would not.
Okay.
Okay, the reason I will bring this to your attention. June 24, I notified the public work in the township, and I spoke to one of the ladies. The 4th of July was coming in, and I like to yes, it was any possible, they can come down and cut the lawn in the Inter-Presidential Lake and Dakota Trail and Whisper Pine. She stated to me that she passed the message to the people. 4th of July came by, nothing done. But I drove to every single other entrances. It's beautiful. July came by. August the 3rd, I go pick it up the garbage in my entrance. And there is a lot of things there. I gotta wear all kind of the clothing. In the end, I refuse to just walk in those so high the grass was. But the only reason they came on and pick it and cut the lawn, I'm going to tell you what is the reason they did it. Because they go and make money Sunday. The Tralapan and Presidential Lakes. That's the only way. And I just hope in the future, at least once a month, they can cut the lawn. I take care of the flower. I know every other place that they get nice and clean. Drive out to Magnolia Road. Oak Pine is beautiful. Lake Valley Acres. Over here in the entrance. Country Lake, Brownsville, doesn't matter. We are part of Pemberton Township. And we are a taxpayer and we deserve also that. I have a question for the administrator. We have a very bad storm the other night. We have a lot of rain. And I noticed the water came in my den. I'd like to know if I'm going to have drainage this year in my street. I was promised. But the summer is most gone pretty soon. Can you answer me that, Mr. Gonzalez? If the drainage are in my list?
The answer is it's on the list, but we